Hey everyone, before we start, make sure you subscribe to this amazing channel for more real-life stories just like this. Now let's begin. My name is Ava Collins, and if you asked anyone in my family, they'd tell you I'm the responsible one. Not the pretty one. Not the favorite. Not the sunshine. Just the one who keeps the lights on. The night everything changed, it happened quietly, so quietly I almost missed it. It was 8:43 p.m. when my phone buzzed on the coffee table. I just finished sorting through the stack of bills I'd paid for my mother that month. Electric, water, mortgage, all in my name. When the screen lit up with her message, "You're just jealous and broke. Don't ruin my evening again." No greeting. No explanation. Just those 9 words. Sharp enough to cut right through years of me holding us all together. I read it twice. A third time. Then I placed my phone down gently, like the message might shatter if I moved too fast. That was the moment something in me finally stilled. Not broke. Not cracked. Just stilled. Like a lake when the wind stops. For years, since high school, honestly, I'd been the backbone of this family. The one who handled things. Mom always said it like a compliment, like it made me special. But being responsible eventually turned into being useful. And being useful eventually turned into being invisible. Growing up, Mom liked things to look perfect. Matching outfits for holiday photos, spotless counters for Sunday dinner, smiles that always lasted just long enough for the camera flash. My little sister, Chloe, was the centerpiece of every picture. Golden hair. Golden personality, golden child. She walked into a room and people looked up. Something about her made you think she deserved the best. With me, it was different. Mom's entire tone changed depending on who she was talking to. With Chloe, her voice softened, melting into praise and pet names. "You're my sunshine, baby girl." With me? "Ava, can you handle this for me?" It started small. Mom forgetting to pick up groceries. The internet bill that slipped through the cracks. Dad's medication when insurance didn't cover enough, that I told myself it was temporary. I told myself it was family. And family helps family, right? But temporary turned into routine. Routine turned into obligation. And obligation turned into expectation. When I landed my first real accounting job, Mom didn't ask how it was going. She asked if I could add her to my phone plan. "Just until I figure mine out," she said. That was 4 years ago. Her line is still on my bill. So is Dad's. So is Chloe's. So is Chloe's boyfriend. I was 29, with a salary that looked decent on paper. And yet every month half my income vanished into auto payments, bills with their names and my card beneath. And they never noticed. Not really, why would they? It worked for them. Mom bragged online about how independent we all were. Chloe posted pictures at rooftop brunches, holding the credit card that was quietly mine. Dad stayed quiet, always somewhere between tired and defeated. And I kept balancing everything, my job, their bills, their lives, while somehow not living my own. The night before that message came, I overheard Mom talking to my Aunt Diane. "Chloe's doing so well," she bragged. "Ava's fine. She's always fine." Something inside me tightened. I stood there in the hallway, holding their unpaid cable bill, listening to my mother write me off with one sentence. "She's always fine." It wasn't praise. It was dismissal. The kind that sinks into your ribs and stays there for years. So when her message came the next night, jealous and broke, I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I didn't try to defend myself like I always did. It didn't sting the way it usually would. If anything, it clarified everything. She didn't see me as a daughter. She saw me as a system. A structure. A safety net. A place to swipe her card without ever asking whose paycheck paid for it. And that realization, cold and strangely freeing, followed me into the next 3 days. 3 days later, while she sat in some dimly lit restaurant celebrating herself, the waiter walked over with the check she assumed I would cover. 1 swipe. Declined. Second swipe. Declined. The world she built on my back started to crack. She called me. I let it ring. That silence. For the first time in my life, it was mine. 3 days passed after Mom's text, but it felt like a slow, stretched out year. You know that weird quiet your mind slips into after someone hurts you one too many times? That haze where everything feels sharp and numb at the same time. Yeah, that was me. Walking around with a calm so unfamiliar it almost scared me. And then came Mom's birthday dinner, the night everything tipped. Mom chose the kind of place where the lighting is low, the menus don't show prices, and the waiters speak softly like they're paid by the syllable. She sent a message in the family group chat. Dinner at 7. Dress nice. No please. No thank you. Just commands, the kind she'd gotten used to giving. I showed up on time, of course. I always did. Dad waved at me from across the table, but it was this half-hearted wave, the kind you give a coworker you're not sure you remember the name of. Chloe was already there, glowing in a gold dress that looked like it cost more than my entire monthly budget. Her laughter filled the room before I even reached the table. Mom turned toward me, barely smiling. Ava, you actually made it. I wasn't sure you could pull yourself away from work. Invisible jab. Delivered casually. Right on schedule. I swallowed it like always. The waiter brought menus, though Mom didn't even touch hers. She'd already picked out what everyone should eat. The small talk rolled in like a script they'd rehearsed. Chloe's new boyfriend. A vacation Mom wanted to plan. A neighbor's renovation drama. Dad nodding along like a man fading into wallpaper. Everything perfectly curated. Perfect table. Perfect family image. Perfect lie. When the wine arrived, the mood softened. Everyone laughing, clinking glasses like they were starring in a Hallmark commercial. Until the check showed up. That little black folder didn't just sit on the table. It loomed. Mom glanced at me first, then at Chloe. So, she said, swirling her wine with a smirk, who's covering this year? My stomach tightened. The same line. The same dance. I breathed out slowly. I can if you need me to. But maybe someone else can take it this time. The table went unnervingly still. Chloe let out a laugh so sharp it felt like ice water. Ava, you can barely afford the salad you ordered. They laughed like it was a joke, but their eyes were mean. Mom didn't even look at me when she added, Not you, honey. You're broke. And this time? It didn't feel like a sting. It felt like a confirmation. The waiter was still standing there, trying to pretend he wasn't witnessing a family implode. A couple at the next table turned their heads. Chloe leaned forward, giving me that smile, the one she saved for when she wanted to make sure I knew my place. Don't be so serious, Ava. You're always jealous when things aren't about you. Dad cleared his throat, but Mom was already talking over him, telling the waiter to just put everything on the usual card, card. The one tied to their account. I watched the waiter swipe it. Swipe. Pause. Swipe again. My phone buzzed, declined. Nobody looked at me. Nobody asked if something was wrong. Nobody wondered if maybe I shouldn't be paying. They just moved on to thank you. No gratitude. Not even acknowledgement. Just a table of people returning to their conversations while I sat there, realizing something terrifying. They weren't going to stop. Ever. Unless I did. When dinner finally ended, Mom hugged Chloe first, showering her with compliments like always. Then she turned to me, soft voice. Fake concern. Don't make a big deal out of money. Like I was the one causing drama. Sure, Mom, I said, my hands trembling. Whatever you say. On the way home, I stopped at a gas station. The lights were bright and harsh, buzzing overhead like they were judging me. I bought a bottle of water just to have something to hold, something to ground me. My phone buzzed. Mom again. Don't ruin my night again. You're just jealous and broke. No period. No hesitation. Just cruelty. The kind that gets easier for people who've learned they can take without consequence. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not crying. Not shaking. Just done. When I got home, I opened the folder on my desk. The one that held every bill, every receipt, every login, every responsibility that wasn't mine. That I flipped through the pages slowly. Water, electricity, phone plan, car insurance, mortgage, credit cards. All in my name. Every single one. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel like fixing anything. That I closed the folder and sat in the dark, letting the room hold the weight of everything I'd carried. My phone lit up again with the same message, still unread, still waiting. And in that exact moment, something settled inside me. Something final. A line had been crossed. A truth had been revealed. A door inside me shut. I didn't feel angry. The next morning, I woke up before the sun. Not because of an alarm, not because of stress, but because my mind felt strangely quiet. The kind of quiet you only hear after a storm has ripped everything apart. The room was dim, soft shadows stretching across the floor. My apartment felt different that morning, lighter somehow, as if all the weight I'd been carrying had finally slid off during the night and landed somewhere far away. I sat on the edge of my bed, hands resting loosely on my knees, breathing slowly, just listening to my own thoughts for the first time in years. No buzzing notifications. No reminders. No frantic mental checklist of bills, deadlines, or responsibilities that weren't even mine. Just stillness. And then, I remembered her voice from the night before. "You're just jealous and broke." The words echoed, but not the way they used to. They didn't sting, or twist in my chest, or make me feel small. Instead, they clarified things. They illuminated everything I had ignored, everything I had swallowed, everything I had minimized so I wouldn't upset the balance they relied on. That I reached for my laptop, opened it slowly, and the screen glow filled the dark room with this bluish light that made everything look colder, sharper, clearer. And once it lit up, I saw the list. All the accounts, all the bills, all the payments. Every single one in my name: utilities, insurance, water, electricity, internet, mortgage, credit cards, phone plan with 5 lines. Every tab I clicked felt like uncovering a truth I had ignored for far too long. I leaned back in my chair, staring at the screen, and whispered to myself, I wasn't helping them. I was carrying them. A different kind of heaviness hit me then. The kind that comes not from pressure, but from realization. That I clicked the phone bill first. 5 lines. Mom, Dad, Chloe, her boyfriend. My throat tightened a little. Not from sadness, but from finally seeing the entire picture without excuses. I hovered over the button. Remove user. My finger hesitated for half a second. Not because I doubted myself, but because doing this felt like stepping out of a burning building I didn't realize I'd been living in. I clicked. A little pop-up appeared. Are you sure you want to proceed? I let out a slow breath. The kind that empties your lungs, the kind that feels like release. Yes. Click. The screen refreshed. 1 line left. Mine. I didn't cry. I didn't shake. If anything, I felt steady. I moved on to the electricity account. Autopay off. Water. Payment method removed. Internet. Change login complete. Mortgage. Primary holder credentials. Updated. It was like watching chains fall away, one clink at a time. Soft, quiet, final. Then I opened the credit card account. The one everyone used freely, effortlessly, constantly. I selected the freeze option. Requested security review. Flagged unauthorized use. For the first time ever, the system asked me to verify myself as the sole owner. The bank rep on the phone was cheerful, almost bubbly. Okay, Miss Collins, just confirming, you're the only primary holder listed here. I almost laughed. A soft, disbelieving laugh that never fully left my chest. Yes, I said. That's kind of the problem. One by one confirmation emails burst into my inbox. Account updated. User removed. Access revoked. Autopay canceled. Security freeze initiated. Each one felt like air slipping back into my lungs. Slowly, steadily. like I'd been breathing shallow for years without realizing it. The last account froze with a soft little ding, innocent, almost cute, considering how massive the shift really was. When I finally closed the laptop, the morning light had begun creeping through my blinds. Soft, golden, warm. It washed over everything: my desk, my coffee mug, my folded blanket on the couch, like it was painting the world new. I sat back, staring at nothing, and for the first time, the silence didn't feel empty. He felt mine. I thought about calling Mom, just to explain, just to clarify, just to soften the blow like I always did. But then I remembered the smirk she shared with Chloe at dinner, the effortless cruelty. The way she said "broke" as if she were spitting it at me. The way they laughed knowing I would pay anyway. And I realized I didn't owe them an explanation. Not one. Not anymore. I picked up my phone, opened the family group chat, scrolled past the birthday plans, grocery lists, requests for money disguised as casual messages. "Thanks, Ava." Followed by "Can you cover this?" I typed a message, deleted it. Typed another, deleted it again. Words wouldn't fix anything. Words never had. Instead, I opened my banking app one more time, hovered over the final button. Freeze all linked cards. My heart didn't race. My hands didn't shake. Nothing dramatic happened. I just clicked. The confirmation popped up instantly. Account successfully frozen. 5 years of holding up their world. Undone in 5 minutes. I closed my laptop. Sat in my quiet apartment. Let the morning sun wrap around me like something gentle and honest for the first time in a long time. And as I breathed in that stillness, I knew their world had just stopped, but mine was finally starting. Expanded, deeply emotional, human, pacing with pauses and dramatic silence. 3 days passed. 3 days of quiet that felt unreal. 3 days where my phone stayed face down, the screen black, the world on mute. 3 days where I finally felt the air around me shift, lighter, clearer, almost new. And then, Saturday night came. Mom's belated birthday dinner. The one she'd been bragging about online all week. Pictures of chandeliers, clinking glasses, Chloe posing like a billboard model, captions dripping in sugar. "Mom deserves the best." I sat in my apartment in leggings and an oversized sweater, eating cold leftovers straight from the fridge. It was quiet except for the hum of the AC and the sound of my fork scraping plastic. Then my phone buzzed once. Then again. I ignored it. But then the notifications stacked. Fast. Aggressive. A buzzing storm across my kitchen table. I didn't need to check. I knew exactly what was happening across the city, under soft golden lighting and overpriced decor. One single moment was unfolding with slow-motion clarity. I could picture it perfectly. The server brings the check, sets it down gently. Mom, glowing from wine and attention, hands over her card, my card, with the confidence of someone who's never had to question it. Swipe. Pause. A wrinkle forms between her brows. Swipe again. This time her smile falters. Just a little. Barely noticeable. Until the waiter says in that soft, apologetic voice, "I'm sorry, ma'am. It's been declined." Mom stares, confused, offended, insulted by the very idea of being told no. "That's impossible," she whispers. Her voice tightens. "Try again." He does. Same message, declined. Chloe rolls her eyes, flips her hair dramatically, then digs into her purse. "I got it," she says. Swipe. Declined. She tries another card. Declined. The room shifts. People look. The air thickens with embarrassment. Dad rubs his forehead, that defeated motion I've seen my whole life. He leans toward Mom and murmurs, "Did Ava change something?" The waiter offers the handheld terminal again. Mom snatches it with a shaky smile. But it doesn't matter. The system is locked. Frozen. Untouchable. By me. Then her phone buzzes. A push notification. A line of text she reads out loud without meaning to. Account temporarily frozen by primary holder. Primary holder me. The realization hits her like ice water. Chloe's face twists. Dad sinks back in his seat. Mom's hands shake. The world they built out of my sacrifices starts to crumble. Right there, in the middle of a fancy restaurant, and miles away, I'm sitting on my couch, eating leftover pasta, watching my phone light up like fireworks, and feeling absolutely nothing but calm. The first call comes. Then 3 more. Then 10. Then 20. And I don't move. MYT sits untouched. The room is dim. The city hums outside. And my phone keeps trembling like a heartbeat I no longer recognize. Voicemails pour in. Ava, something's wrong with the cards. Call me. Ava, answer the phone. Ava, this isn't funny. Ava, fix this. Now that I wash my dish slowly, the water runs warm over my hands. The phone buzzes behind me like an angry wasp. Then comes the one I knew would hit eventually. Mom's voice. Shaky. Uncertain. Still trying to sound in control. Ava, I don't know what's going on, but everything is frozen. The mortgage. The utilities. Your father's card. Chloe's card. You need to unlock this right now. This isn't you. Please call me back. I set the phone down gently. Then Chloe sends a direct text. You've seriously gone too far. You're making Mom look stupid. I stare at it. Type 3 words. She did that, then delete them. Not worth it. Dad texts next. Your mother is upset. We'll talk tomorrow. Tomorrow. Always tomorrow. Tomorrow I'd fix it. Tomorrow I'd help. Tomorrow I'd save them again. But tomorrow was gone. That version of me was gone. That I place my phone face down again and let the silence return. When Sunday morning arrives, sunlight spills across my floor in wide, warm streaks. That I stretch, breathe, feel weightless for the first time since I was a teenager. I make coffee, sit at my tiny kitchen table, look out the window at people walking dogs, jogging, living their own quiet lives. My phone is filled with missed calls, unread messages, voicemails that probably swing between anger and panic. I don't open them. Instead, I open my bank app, just mine. Rent, groceries, gas. Simple, clean, uncluttered by other people's chaos. For once, my financial life looks like it belongs to me. A voicemail icon flashes. I let it play. Mom's voice this time is softer, cracked at the edges. Ava, we didn't realize how much you handled. The bank said only you can unlock the accounts. We just need to pay a few things. Can we please talk? Please call me. There's a long pause at the end. A half breath she doesn't finish. A crack in her voice that sounds almost like regret. Almost. I listen. Then delete it. Not out of anger. Not out of revenge. But because for the first time, I'm choosing myself. Later I go for a walk. The air smells like rain and fresh pavement. Kids ride bikes. People laugh. Life moves. And something inside me settles. The world didn't collapse without me holding it up. It just shifted, rearranged itself. Like it had been waiting for me to let go. When I return home, another text from Mom appears. We'll figure it out. And I'm proud of you. Even if you don't believe it. I stare at those words. Not with hope. Not with hurt. Just clarity. Some doors don't slam shut. Some doors simply close. Quietly. Softly. Finally. I turn off my phone. Pour another cup of coffee. Stand by the window as sunlight warms the city buildings. For the first time in years, the silence isn't punishment. It isn't loneliness. It isn't empty. It's peace. It's freedom. It's mine. They called me jealous and broke. But I'm neither. I'm just done paying the price for other people's comfort. And finally investing in myself. If this story resonated with you, tell me your thoughts. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss the next story.